Welcome everybody, game number 1, best of 3 today, the RavenCourt tournament. We're continuing here with our matches, and now we got Team Skogh going up against Team Kure. Pretty excited for it. So after we had the RavenCourt season, the ladder has already announced we now have the full-on tournament. So the captains, they looked at the player pool and were then drafting in a snake draft, making sure that they are getting the best team they possibly could. And now we're finally off to the races. So the boys and girls are going to play for all the glory and prize money over the next couple of weeks, and we're going to be here for all of these matches, which also means that we are finally having proper team names, and we also have, of course, best of 3 matches. The rosters have been set, and well, let's check this one out. On the left in blue we got Team Skogh. This is our first map, Towers of Doom, and on the right side we got Team Kure. I was actually about to say Team Macke because he was a captain in Captain's Draft tournaments in the past, and we also had to wait for him. He came a little bit late. At this point I can't blame him too much because I myself was late, yes, coming from the guy that always says like it's your job as a caster to be there on time, which I'm still fully behind, by the way, but got stuck in traffic. Thankfully for me though, Macke was more late than I was, so that makes me punctual, right? I'll let that slide. I think that's good. So, but we have some pretty scary teams here. I mean, particularly when you're looking over to Kure's team, Mopsio as their main tag is an interesting one, but they're playing here with Macke. They got Galnegulnar, Gia, Kure. This is a very strong team that they're fielding here. On the blue team side, Max Pash, we got Skogh himself, Bischoff, of course, the Hanzo player if he gets access to it. And they're already finding themselves in a situation where they are second picks. So what is Team Kure going to do? Are they going to lock in an early Hanzo? Do they just ignore him for now? Bischoff obviously has been playing a lot of other heroes too. Hanzo might be his go-to, but we've seen him also even moving into Cassia. Sometimes Lunara. Cassia more so is go-to. Lunara these days not that often a choice, but he's been showing over and over that he can play other heroes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he wants to, so Hanzo it is. Hanzo gets locked in immediately, and we have for Mopsio Diablo. Now on the ban side, mainly targeting assassins. Genji, of course, always a welcome candidate to receive the ban hammer. Brightwing also getting chosen, so we have some global aspects here. The ban of Falstad is also interesting in the sense that one of the players that probably played Falstad the most during the, I want to call it pre-season, was probably Bischoff himself, but they don't want to deal with any globals. Now Dehaka is obviously still up for grabs, and when we're talking off lane, Dehaka is still a really good choice. So if they go for Dehaka here, that would be fantastic to just get some additional action going on the side lane, make sure that you can join those team fights. You have Blaze, you have Leoric, you have Urel, all good alternatives of course that you could use up on the top lane. And with Sylvanas, they have also on the red team side now a hero that can really help them to do short work of those bell towers once the big team fight is, one particular in the mid and late game when those death timers have been increased by a bit. Final ban for the blue team, can still get rid of a support, and they decide that they are going to get rid of Anduin here. So no insane stun chains happening, and also no pullouts out of these big team fights. Could still play this out with Rega, Stukov, I mean, you really name it. Anduin is the only one that got targeted so far, which by the way also leaves Lucio still up, so you could still play around Lucio if you wanted to here and try to empower those rotations pretty quickly. Stitches. No random hooks coming out, at least today. But I'm curious. I really want to see what exactly they're going to play now. Also, they are fully aware what the front line looks like for the red team, so they can counterplay this a bit now. So who do they throw up against Diablo here? If you just want to go for some sustain tanks, you could go for Murden, you could go for Johanna. So those are, of course, always nice options. If you're looking more for aggression and dive potential, there are other choices. Even a Nubara coming to mind here real quickly. They go for Maiev and they go for Malthael. So a very aggressive variation of their top lane now. Malthael also threatening Diablo with potential last rites then later. Maiev for the additional control, and that is a lot of damage that they're already bringing to the table here, so that could really do a number on Team Kure. The one thing that they are lacking maybe a little bit is CC. Now Hans of course can chip in with his arrow, you got Brightwing, you got Maiev, but at least on the side lane when we're talking about Malthael, he doesn't really bring a solid stun here. And Gia with Medivh on Towers of Doom in the first game of this best of 3 series. And we're getting Skogh as the support. So if they are able to get these hits out with Blaze and his jet propulsion, then they can of course follow that up with also Lurking Arm. Very interesting draft for Team Kure here. And Kure himself on the side lane, again, playing cross-server, obviously. So also making sure that when it comes to the heroes that he picks, he has a little bit more leeway when it comes to those ping disadvantages. Very unlikely that you're going to see him on Zeratul in a cross-server play. And here comes Jojo. Good stuff. With that, game number 1, let's head straight into it. Towers of Doom, everybody. We got Team Skogh against Team Kure. And we're off to the races. Team Skogh on the left, Towers of Doom, map number 1 in the best of 3. We got Skogh himself on Johanna, the captain. Max Passion with Malthael, Bishops on Hanzo, Hunter Orc is playing Brightwing, and Zero is playing Maiev. Over to the right side of the map, Team Kure with the captain playing Blaze. We got Gia on Medivh, Mopsy on Diablo. Some synergy there, of course, available if you really want to go into Apocalypse instead of the Lightning Breath. We got Galnagulnar on Skogh, and we have Make playing Sylvanas. Now, as mentioned already, I want to throw that out again if you're watching here for the first time within the RavenCourt. We had a preseason where all of these players could prove themselves a little bit, could show off their skills, and then we had an actual captain's draft where all the captains that the teams are named after were choosing players from the player pool with a snake draft, so they could form their own teams, of course always checking which players were still available. And these teams are now playing the actual tournament, so we're currently in the first stage of the tournament. Blaze already going down, Kure the captain killed immediately as the game starts. Even Medivh couldn't help him out here. Initially, of course, the attack down at the bottom of the map with Sylvanas, trying to take some of the structures out already. But already means that Team Skogh is off to a good start here. We're going to keep an eye on Medivh and the baseline stacks. See if he's able to get those through. We had some pretty insane preseason games, by the way. And one on Towers of Doom with Ultralis comes to mind, where I believe he died on Medivh with 36, or I think it was even 39 stacks now that I think about it. It was definitely crazy, and he never got his quest completed. But we're going to keep an eye on Gia and see if he is going to be a bit more disciplined around that and can save the stacks, get the quest reward, and then play around it. Early stage, of course, you're just going to go for the rotation. You're trying to get some easy kills in. Pumpkin camps are priority once that they spawn, but nobody has really gone full aggression and headed into the opponent's camp to try and steal it away. Now, we have 3 stacks for Medivh. Gia playing a very, very passive and slow variation of this. Oh, but they get Make, and Sylvanas gets dropped. I personally would have pegged Team Kure as the favorite heading into this best of 3 series, but Team Skogh right now is doing a great job. They're doing an absolutely fantastic job here. 2 kills to 0, they have a lead in experience, and they're starting to do some serious damage down at the bottom of the map. Mopsio at the front here. Yeah, has to of course see if he can maybe get the angle for good wall stun so that they can capitalize on it with a kill. Nice! Spray game on point, love it. Fantastic over here. Baby rack spray. Let's go. Always love it when we have some actual decent sprays here, not always just go for the pleb spray. So yeah, I appreciate that. But then, with the first altar phase, there's of course 3 on the map. Traditionally, it's a 2-1 split, where one team is going to aim for the bottom of the map. Actually, both of them are probably going to fight for it. Quick rotation, empowered by Medivh and the portal. They're trying to get a hit in, couldn't quite. But yep, nicely done. So already everybody is set at the bot lane to try and go for altar number 3, as top left, top right will be exchanged by Malthael and Blaze. I don't see anything happening there. Another portal is already set up. Diablo moving in, trying to get a quick hit in there. And Mopsio is a bit low, needs to be careful, gets tethered. Zero, the assist from Brightwing comes in for the heal, and Diablo goes down. Dibbles destroyed, easily taken here. And there's the level 7 talent that will make this even easier for them. They try to come in again with another portal though, so they're really attempting to buy some time for Diablo to come back onto the map. Hunter Orc now with the channel. Gia getting close, 27 stacks now for him, and everybody on the blue team is starting to drop a bit low on hit points. This might actually become a problem for them. Galnagulnar himself now finding a bit of an issue there. as he gets attacked and loses hit points, but they're pushing them back. They're pushing them back, and they have to tap the fountain again. Malthael is still pushing out the top. Blaze, is he going down towards the middle? He has to catch the experience top side, and that's what he's doing now. 3 kills to 0 thus far. Blaze moving down. Blaze coming from the top, starting to say hello here, hoping to help them to get that channel, and there's no interrupt. There it is! Jojo coming in on the back end of that fight with another interrupt. Malthael, what is he gonna do? He gets the minion wave in the middle. Is he gonna move towards the top? No, he's also gonna join the fight. He's gonna try and turn this into a 5 versus 5, but Johanna goes down. Jojo is dead, and immediately the side lane are rotating towards the top. Diablo with another engage, gets the shield. Gia 31 stacks. Gulnar secures the channel, and that's another 4 shots fired against the blue team's core. Nicely done. Malthael at least got some value up at the top, where he was able to destroy the wall in the middle of the map. Not quite the same picture, but he got some damage in regardless. The leading experience still belongs to the blue team. They're on level 9 already, so they're going to hit the earlier level 10, which might help them around the next altar spawn. But still, Medivh is at 33 stacks, so he's doing extremely well here. Should be able to complete this, unless he pulls a bit of an Ultralisk and lets himself get killed just before completion of the quest. Diablo also stacking and doing alright. Should be able to get his 100 soul stacks fairly soon, so that he has the extra revive. But there's level 10 now. Last Rites is in, and the question is always, can they use that window of opportunity? And they're trying. They're going for Mopsio, but there's always Medivh to consider. Arrow, blessed shield. They can't do enough to Macke. And Skogh went pretty deep for that, so he gets punished immediately, loses a huge chunk of his hit point pool, and has to retreat once again. So yeah, nicely done. I mean, with that said and done, we have the disc out on Medivh. He's sitting at 37 stacks and now has the ley line. Diablo hasn't made a choice yet. 2 big options, and he goes Lightning Breath. So they don't go for the wombo. You don't see it as often anymore. There's interrupt potential that could shut the entire combo down, and then you run the danger of losing 2 of your cooldowns on heroic abilities and not really getting anything out of it. So Lightning Breath instead it is. But here they go again, trying for Mopsio. Already we have the portal out. They're trying to make the play here. Last Rites, and he is dead. He's dead, killed by Malthael, but more importantly, we haven't seen a stack accumulate for the blue team. So Malthael didn't get the stack on his ult. They got another kill. Sylvanas has died too, so Macke has been dropped, but at least the quest completed for Medivh. So that's already a bit of a win. That's definitely going to help him as the game continues. It's going to be huge. The cooldown reduction is, of course, big, and he's going to be very happy about that as the game continues. And more importantly, Team Skogh has actually not channeled a single altar yet. They couldn't capitalize on these 2 kills. They haven't really done anything with them. They're still walking away with experience, but still. Arrow is out. Nice triple hit, trying to save Malthael here. Brightwing is moving in, but it's already too late. Trashwing not there in time, and now the rest of the team is in trouble too. Brightwing with another heat. Buying enough time for Johanna to get her Iron Skin out. Nice. Yeah, job well done. 28 to 32 though. So the lead is there. Each team channeling one of these altars, but now the red team is starting to get a bit more cheeky. They're getting real sassy over here, moving in to steal the pumpkin camp away, and I don't think the blue team is able to do something about it. So, not really a thing. But there's another push coming. Alright. In come the pumpkins. They're trying to go for 0 again, but he is able to walk past this. The disc was out too, and Jojo is hoping to help them out with another attack. But it's getting a little bit tricky for them to really control these portals. They don't have a lot of heroes that are great at that. Of course, when you're talking portal control, heroes that immediately come to mind would be Skogh, would be Malfurion, ETC even. Anybody that can zone targets away from a portal or punish them once that they travel through is usually very, very strong in these situations. They try again for Diablo. Good attack, and they should be able to kill Mopsio here. Diablo is gone, and they steal the camp. I like that. So, a second ago, they were the ones that had a mercenary camp stolen away from them. Now they are repaying those efforts in kind. they are able to get some value at the bottom of the map. Level 13 versus level 13. So they're still doing their thing here. Talon gets picked up, and with that we get the virulent reaction for Medivh. On top of that, 25,000 damage for Sylvanas. Top damage for the red team. But just take a look at what Hanzo is currently bringing to the table here. 43,000. Our boy is really doing work here. Quite a lot, I might add. And, well, another channel attempt down at the bottom of the map. Maiev, by the way, too. Maiev is also 27,000, so she is also higher than Sylvanas, higher than the top damage dealer on the red team, and they take another hero down. They destroy Skogh. That's the support gone. Mopsio in a bit of a corner. Last right. No, they get the kill in the stack. He gets out of the bunker and he gets dropped. That's Kure lost as well. They kill 2. They kill 3. And they end up with another kill as Sylvanas gets destroyed. They're looking for the 5-man team wipe. And they get it. Nicely done. Well played. Fantastic push there. Fantastic push. The first few kills, they got him easy. Then they are able to take also the Blaze down. And they go for follow-up. The entire team gets dropped. The bell tower gets converted. 5 shots get fired. Level 16 is in their hands now. And that is just looking fantastic for Team Skogh. It is a best-of-3 series. Game number 1. They're looking strong. Looking really good here. And with 53,000 damage, Hanzo still chipping in the most. Sylvanas is trying to help Team Kure to reclaim the bottom bell tower. But now they are flanking in from the top, hoping to get a hit in. Blessed Shield, are they going to go for it? Medivh is still there, so they're not moving in. Want to bait out some of those defensive tools from Gia first before they're using any of their heroic abilities to get real damage out here. Another condemn, and they're zoning them away nicely. Up at the top, Pumpkins are now connecting with the top side bell tower. So Malthael has pushed the lane out. Red team still trying to get level 16. They need more experience. Arrow is out. Blessed Shield could come soon. Will come soon. Should throw that out in a second. Everybody's dodging out here. Zero's in real trouble. Another quick push coming. Maybe even saving the day for them. But now it's Skogh himself that is in real danger of dying. Right with the help. Blessed Shield is out. Can they turn it? Here's the shield to save Sylvanas. But they cannot save Diablo. Last rights dropped on Sylvanas, forced Medivh to use the shield. Hanzo with 2 kills. Kure has fallen once again, and Diablo has also gotten destroyed. They are looking better and better here. They're walking away with experience and the game. 13 kills to 2. The blue team with such a nice performance now. They're really impressing here. 15 kills now. 15 kills to 2. Another pumpkin camp taken. And now they can go for 5 more shots fired. 28 to 27 on the course at this point. But there is an enormous advantage now for the blue team that they are going to try to use and get even further ahead. When you're ahead, get further ahead. Try to extend the lead. Try to get there. They're hoping to get those pumpkins in, at least 1 or 2. Even if they can't, just pinning them down at the bot lane will allow others to do work in the middle, up at the top, and that's what they're looking for here. Nice tether into the Hanzo arrow. And that's another kill. Diablo has now died 6 times. They have 16 kills to 2. And more damage is being done all over the map right now. And it is, of course, starting to become a real problem for Team Kure. This is Towers of Doom. Comebacks are always possible here. This is the comeback map in the pool. Last right gets countered by the bunker again, but Kure is not out of harm's way yet. Gets attacked once more. The ley line might save his butt here. Zero is low. Maiev has to be careful, but they're also starting to threaten Blaze once again. 19 to 16. This is a comeback map, but Blaze gets Hanzo'd, so he dies. And at some point, you're gonna run out of room to make that comeback happen. You need to get some kills, and this is the only thing that can realistically bring Team Kure back into the game if they are able to get kills somehow. At least getting the bell tower at the bottom of the map is gonna be big for them. And they're not that far behind in core points. They're far behind in experience, they're far behind in kills, but when it comes to points on the core, they're not doing that bad. So there might be a chance. If they can just stall, if they can buy another 2 levels by sacrificing a few points on their core, they could bring this back later on. But of course, for that to happen, they also need to make sure that they at least channel one of these altars now. That's what they are doing. They are very likely going to lose 2. I would be shocked if they can claim 2, but 1 is more or less mandatory. So now it's an even exchange right here. Trying to make another play for Gia. Lightning Breath already used. Ooh, the arrow! Between the heroes, not hitting anything. Once again, they're trying to go for Mopsio, Portal, Bunker, all tools that he could try and use, but Diablo is dead. Kure is also getting chased. Malthael and Sylvanas are both dead. So finally a few kills for Team Kure, at least 1, but the problem is that they're losing way too many heroes to make it happen. A shield for Medivh, another ley line. And nobody has channeled the top left yet. They are hoping to take this bell tower in the middle and get in total 5 shots fired here. And that level 20 talent that they have in their pocket could help them with that. So the minion wave is there and they will grab the bell tower. So now 5 more shots can be fired. 18 to 24 right now. Hunter is moving up towards the top and he's going to get the 5 shots, meaning the red team will drop down to 13 points. Still not single digits for them though. They're still not in single digits here, which is definitely helpful, but staggered deaths like this one are not gonna be a thing. Nice flank from Team Skogh, just as the 5th man, or in this case woman, comes back onto the map. Just as Sylvanas respawns, they flank in, get a kill on Stukov, on Blaze, and that is of course another big blow against Team Kure. They're in real trouble now. They've lost another bell tower at the bottom of the map. It's a 6-2 bell tower control that we're talking about. A 3-level advantage for the blue team, and also they're 18 kills ahead. Yeah, this is not looking good. Hansa has joined the 6-digit club. Really exclusive. 101,000 damage for him. 55,000 for Maiev. Sylvanas, she's trying to put the numbers in on the red team side with the 57,000 that she's bringing to the table. But the whole map is now more or less under the control of Team Skogh. 1 more level is needed for Team Kure to make a difference here. And you can already tell from the movements on the map that the blue team is interested in trying to go for full control, which they're not going to get, but they can at least exchange bell towers. So while they lose the one in the middle, it seems like Max Passion at the top is successfully going to convert this bell tower over. Indeed, he does. Also a bit of an adjustment. We have on level 20 the final curtain for Malthael. So no one can stop death as we usually see, but a bit of a different variation for him. Now Team Kure is fighting back, so again, this game is not over yet. Now the situation that I talked about earlier has happened. Both teams have a level 20. Yes, there is a 2-level advantage for the blue team. That's a stats... I mean, this is a stats advantage. They have it. That's the thing. But this is still... You can still come back from this. 24 to 13 points. That is still doable. 8 to 21 now. That's still manageable. It's not easy. I'm not saying this is an easy game, but this is still something where you can fight back. And if they get kills here, look at Bishops. Look at Bishops, look at Underhawk. There's a kill, there's the double kill, and all of a sudden we're talking comeback, baby. They get a triple. 3 kills. Stukov at least falls on the other side, but now they're chasing Maiev. Jojo is still here trying to assist too, but all of a sudden there's momentum for Team Kure. It's Towers of Doom, and you're never safe on this map. Zero is trying to get away here, but nope, as his hit points also drop to 0, he dies, and that is a huge momentum swing. Big kills happening in that last fight, and now they are reaping their rewards. Down at the bottom of the map, bell tower control is happening for Team Kure. They're trying to bring this back. 22 kills to 7, and just look at the gap in experience. We were talking about a 3-level gap earlier. Now it's down to a single level. Just to give you a bit of an idea of how impactful these late game kills actually are, look at the experience distribution. Keep in mind, we have 3 times the number of kills by Team Skogh. Their experience lead through this, 4,500. Because of the late game kills. Higher level heroes give you more experience. You have an underdog advantage when you're behind, so they are massively capitalizing on this right now. So this is big. And now that we have Maiev back to business, Team Skogh has to bring this back. Now, they are still leading when it comes to XP and also when it comes to the core, but this is now an absolutely open game. There's an advantage for the blue team, no doubt about it. But what can they do now? Leyline and jet propulsion not really properly working, but the goal has still been accomplished. The shots were fired, the altar was channeled, and that leaves us now in a spot where we have 13 to 8 points on the core. Interesting game though. Very interesting game. Early and mid game, let's face it, Team Kure, they got their ass handed to them. It's like no denying that. But now in the late game, as so often on Towers of Doom, things could develop very, very differently. Top side is going to be taken, down at the bottom of the map. Another exchange in bell towers. And bot lane control is obviously always going to be more important than top lane control. Too many mercenary camps at the bottom of the map. Getting those pumpkins is big. And they are trying to see if they can maybe flank again. Obviously not with Medivh hovering just above them. But there's the attack. There's the approach. Looking to see if they can make a bit of a move there. Well, not so far. There's a attempt by Mopsio to get Johanna into trouble. But yeah, bunker is out. Here comes Sylvanas. Arrow also out. Wailing Arrow got used there. They already have used a lot of their heroic abilities, whereas the blue team has just been falling back towards the bell tower and haven't used a whole lot of their cooldowns yet. Jet propulsion again not hitting because of the ley line. Final curtain doing some work, getting also the extra damage in. Mopsio tethered. Hellgate's out. They're trying to escape here. Big damage still from Hanzo, but the blue team also needs to be careful. Oh, Zero! Oh, he actually gets away! What? Wow! Holy cow! Zero looked like he was dead for sure, but it is Diablo that falls. Mopsio is dead, and we're taking a quick look at that escape. Take a look at Maiev here. Just look at Maiev. Maiev dropped so incredibly low and then was able to get away twice and barely moved out of the fight. If she falls in that situation, it's going to be a disaster for them. But now it's 3 points on the core. A pumpkin camp, a boss, a single altar could end the game in favor of Team Skogh. This isn't over yet, but it's now so much more difficult for Team Kure, of course. Now they have to throw everything against the wall and do whatever they can. Here comes the ley line again. Here's the bunker. They try to take that bell tower back. Mopsio low. Doesn't have a lot of souls. Needs to be very careful here. Gets turned into a little piggy. And the arrow misses. Oh boy. If Bishops lands that one. But there's the kill. There's the kill. They get Sylvanas and they get Skogh. Both gone. Both dead. This might be game. This one is gonna get rough now. Defending with only 3 altar channel could happen. Pumpkins could happen. There's so many different ways to end this now. If they can get some staggered kills, that would be the dream, and they do. Diablo is dead. That has to be it. I mean, honestly, this has to be it. They're trying to get those pumpkins connected. Bell towers or the altars, they haven't been announced yet. The consistent poke is here. There's the ley line to attempt to save the day. Kure is a bit caught though. Gets the jet propulsion out, but he is gone. No chance for him. They prevented the pumpkins from connecting, but now the altars get announced and they're going to be ready in 20 seconds, which means that 2 of the heroes will not be on the map, and those are their 2 frontliners. So they will have to fight the next one without the 2 frontliners, which is nearly impossible. Medivh can fly over. 1 pumpkin actually connected, so 2 points on the core. But yeah, this is gonna get more than a bit tricky. Blessed Shield is instantly out. Blessed Shield, arrow, get deleted, baby. Beautiful combo. They knew he had to do it. He had no other choice. Skogh falls, everybody else, and the core included. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a 1-0 lead for the blue team in the best of 3 at the RavenCourt tournament. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Well, we're heading to Infernal Shrines. Team Kure, everybody, going up against Team Skogh, who just took the 1-0 lead. So, very interesting series. I personally had the red team pegged as the favorite, and obviously Towers of Doom didn't really disappoint towards the end. It looked, at least for a few moments, as if the red team might start to make a comeback, and actually they did. They brought it closer. But the lead goes to the blue team, so kudos to them. And now the question in this best of 3 is, of course, who is going to take map number 2, is going to take Infernal Shrines? Is it going to be a 2-0 victory for the blue team, or are we going to see Team Kure make a comeback? Now, once again, we are in the first phase of the actual tournament. We had the preseason previously, now we have the tournament, and this is the first phase. We have a full round robin between the teams that are participating here. So we're going to see a lot of games. So it means that if you lose a match, you're not out or anything. But obviously, you should try to limit your losses as much as you can. Now, when we're talking about Infernal Shrines, I mean, the one thing that already stands out to me right from the get-go, again, is that we're having an insta-ban on Falstad. So Team Skogh definitely doesn't want to go up against that. Maka has obviously played the hero a lot in the past, had big impacts with it. But Maka has also a lot of other heroes that he is really known for. In particular, when we're talking about Infernal Shrines, what would come to mind for me personally is his Mephisto play. I mean, Maka is the OG Mephisto in Europe, and his style has then been adopted also in Asia for a while and in some other regions too. Builds changed a bit, but he was really the one that said like, hey, this is a cool hero, he can contribute a lot. And now Mephisto has of course been for a long time just absolute standard as one of the potential damage dealers that you can draft for yourself. Now, talking about picks though, we are starting things off with Genji. There's no Hanzo pick yet, so Skogh could actually pick it for his team, and therefore for Bishops, who already played him in the last game and is an absolute fiend on Hanzo. But they go for Anduin and they go for Hogger. So the Anduin pick already guarantees that there's no Genji Anduin double tag team with the light bomb engaged. So that was already a smart one. Hogger for the big pox here on the shrine. But this is now opening a couple of options on the side of Team Kure. So they can really just evaluate this and say, okay, let's think about this. Do we maybe want to run both Shimadas? Do we try and ban out Hanzo against Bishops? Or do we just not care? Do we just say like, yeah, whatever, we can deal with this, easy peasy. Leo and Tyrael. And the Tyrael pick in particular is obviously quite interesting right as this starts. Let's see what we're gonna get with that. Yeah, that would be quite interesting to see what they're going to do with this now. Huh. Actually, now that we're talking about it, wait a second, now that we're looking at this, I'm actually confusing myself now, so I have to do a little bit of a double tap. That's the Mephisto ban, by the way. So, Hanzo is not available anymore. We are in the preseason when we had the... when the players just showed off their skills, we had normal draft rules. Now we still do have that. There's no pre-bans, but heroes can only be picked once. So, yeah, sorry. Now that we're having the actual tournaments, rules are kicking in. We talked about this a lot. I believe I also mentioned it when we had the RavenCourt preseason matches. But yeah, now we're actually in those games. So yeah, the heroes that were played on the last map cannot be played again. There's not going to be any pre-bans, but this has been is a rule that has been adopted by a lot of players. And obviously we've used similar rules, including pre-bans in Meta Madness. We used the same also in the Nations Cup. The players here wanted to play something a bit similar. So yeah, those heroes can actually not be played anymore. But still, he has Cassia available. Bishop's talking about him now, and he goes for Vala in this case. So yeah, there it is. So Vala is in, and we got Uther as the second support and main tank. So they go for a double support Vala pretty much, which would allow them to go into auto attacks instead of, for example, multi-shots and trying to get the damage out with that. But yeah, that's going to make it interesting because he is going to become an immediate target here. Gavlo, on the other hand, as the final pick for them. What are we going to see from him now? We already have our main tank. They could go for a triple front line. They could even throw in another damage dealer if they really wanted to. Whereas on the other side, we now get Chromie. I wouldn't put it past Mopsio to just go full bananas here, go Judgment and an aggressive build with it, and just try and tee things up for Chromie and Genji whenever he gets his ult cooldown. Malfurion could help with a follow-up on that too. They already have some slows to work around with. But let's see what Gavlo is going to go for here. Gavlo is going to go for D.Va. So we got our triple front line. A little bit more space created. Control over the shrines, of course, too. And with that, we're heading into our first match point for Team Skogh. So, guys, the blue team is in the lead. Let's see if they can also win on Infernal Shrines as we are headed for the second map of the series. Game number 2, Infernal Shrines. Team Skogh with the captain himself playing Uther in the second game. We got Hunter Orc on Anduin. Bishops is playing Vala. The only damage dealer auto attack style is what we're going to see from him. He has 2 supports that are going to assist him here. Uther obviously doubling as the main tank with Max Passion playing Diva, and Gavlo on Hogger. To the right side of the map, Team Kure currently behind in this best of 3 in our round robin phase of the tournament. We got Kure himself on Leoric, Galnagulnar on Malfurion, Gia on Chromie, Mopsy on Tyrael, and Mucke is playing Genji. His Mephisto got banned. That's something where Team Skogh immediately realized this would possibly be a pick for him. So they've been targeting Mucke with a lot of the bans. They banned his Falstad, they banned Mephisto. Clearly targeting him on the red team side. And in the middle already, right from the start, a lot of aggression. As they're trying to go for a quick and dirty early game kill. And that helps Vala. The more brawls, the better for Vala, as long as she doesn't die, of course. Can get some additional hits in, which is exactly what they're aiming for here. And our girl is sitting at 11 stacks. Now, when you're playing a single range damage dealer and you're going full hyper carry with Vala, you obviously really try to keep her alive here. If you're playing a second damage dealer or only a single support, the situation is a bit different. You still don't want to die, but it's not really that tragic. If you drop once or twice, you're still going to get good damage out if you get decent stacks. Generally speaking, with a hyper carry Vala, you really want to keep the attack speed up so that once you hit Manticore with level 16 and then you're level 20, you can get real quick damage in. Big aggression at the top already, since it's a 2 versus 1 situation in favor of the red teams. They're trying to get the wall destroyed, and while the position at the bottom of the map allowed Team Skogh to get the camp and also push this wall a bit, they have lost quite a bit topside already, so gotta be careful there. Vala still aiming to get some shots together and some stacks. Has to be careful with the flank that is coming through. This time we don't have any early game kills yet, and Vala is trying to turn Tyrael in particular into a pincushion. Use him for some easy stacking with the level 4 talents now kicking in. Another camp has been taken. Gavlo obviously absolutely crucial for these moves. They got all 3 of them. So they are taking elite in experience thanks to the mercenary camps that they just took. On the other side, we now got Shandal's Clarity for Malfurion. Sandblasts for Chromie. Didn't go into the deep breathing here on level 1. We should highlight that too. And the wall is slowly falling down at the bottom of the map now that they're focusing with all of their heroes on it. Tyrael went into the Bound by Law as his level 4 talent, so maybe we're not going to get that judgment after all. Would have been a nice tee up for Chromie and really help her out to get that damage connected. But on the other side, it's now, as usual, Death Dealer as the level 4 choice. Now, camps are of course still up on the map. Gavlo is immediately on it. If you're playing Hogger on any map, mercenaries are your friend. You're going to get them as quickly as you can and really try to easily take them on here. So another one already destroyed. All the way up at the top right now. We're getting with Kure and Mucke, another camp claimed. All of them sent around the objective that is now spawning in the middle of the map. So everything is timed properly to just send those shamans topside as soon as possible. And here comes the Pog play. Spin to win! Hogger just bouncing around, and they should be able to pick up the early lead on stacks. Question is simply, can they get the objective? So far it's looking fairly decent. It's a bit of a fight for level 7 of course as well, as both of the teams would hope to rely on the extra talent a bit earlier. But this is looking very, very good now for the blue team. Team Skogh at 31 stacks already. Even the early level 7 shouldn't really help Team Kure too much. With a bit more poke as we already see here, this is very likely going to be a win for the blue team on objective number 1. They're going to walk away with the first Punisher. There's just no doubt in my mind. With 37, I mean, yeah, you can kiss this one goodbye. It's a Mortar Punisher, so yeah, still fine. Will do a bit of damage. It's all about baiting it properly over the wall, which they gotta do now. And Bishops, he's at 29 stacks. So not really forced into a team fight here. But one of the towers is now already gone, so they're doing a decent job getting damage done with this. And the Punisher hasn't jumped yet, so it gets baited a little bit late, and that gate is already up, so that allows them to push in and should take not only the entire wall down, but I would be surprised if they didn't also do some decent damage on the fort, which the Punisher is already doing as we speak. D.Va is still at the top, but now they can start to attack here a little bit further. It's not going to be anything crazy, but again, if you get it down to 50% HP, hey, I'll take it, right? So there it is, 50% of the hit points gone, they got the wall. That's a decent first Punisher. If you're talking Mortar Punisher, that's not too shabby. But it's a very different game from what we've seen in game number 1. Now we are looking at the 5-minute mark without a single kill on either side. So nobody has died yet. Mercenary camp control, I would say, still in the hands of Team Skogh. They did a great job earlier locking all of those Khazra camps in. But now at least some for Team Kure, as they're also making sure that they're not losing any map control here. It's a slight difference in experience, but nothing to write home about. Mom and Dad are not going to be proud of that. Or at least they shouldn't be. I mean, if you're a total disappointment as a son, then maybe, you know. But yeah. Either way. For now, we got the quest completed for Uther on level 1, Creed of the Hunter. We're still missing 13 to get to the first quest reward. But they are starting to get a bit aggressive down here, with Chromie relying on her ult, going for the slowing sands here, going full Gara on us, as Mopsio gets attacked. Yeah, so be careful on this too. Mopsio is super low here, but they take down Malfurion. First blood has been accomplished, and they want another kill, and boy, they nearly got it. Hunter Orc now also shielding some, and having the double support really helps them with the sustainer, as you could just see a second ago. And thanks to the kill on Malfurion, the therefore resulting lack of sustain, they can go for Cure, and they get maybe even another kill. And they do! That's 2 kills now, and Bishops has also gotten a ton of stacks in that little encounter. He's sitting at 63, and they get the fort. Fantastic little push from the blue team, resulting in them destroying one of the forts. And, well, Team Kure has to pause the game. They have to pause their game just to recover from that ass-kicking that they received at the bottom of the map a second ago. So they're going to lick their wounds for just a moment before they can continue. And I don't blame them, because that was rough. You lose 2 heroes, and that results in you also losing the fort. Even Gia riding into battle in style with the money pick couldn't really change that. So, yeah, makes Chromie a little bit faster, but doesn't help them too much. So definitely a little bit annoying for them. But, yep, we got in the middle of the map still Max Passion. He's currently doing his thing on the rotation between mid and top lane. Can maybe pressure some of the hit points in the mid fort down. That would at least be the goal here. Rotate over towards the middle. Try and drop this one too. And then see what else he can do there. Cure. He is respawning. That's of course the advantage of running Leo here. He doesn't have any travel time. But as predicted, they get damage in the middle. I don't think they can destroy the entire thing, but every bit counts. And D.Va hasn't even wasted her time here. She already moved towards the top. Has started to take the gate down. One of the towers is low. So they're really building on these advantages that they're getting for themselves. And doing a good job with that. So, yeah, nicely done. And Tume, as they're going for Max Passion, they might be able to finally get a kill here. D.Va tries to get away, plays with the vision a little bit. Yeah, it's not happening. The supports were not able to get close enough. They might have to say Gavlo. Good counter kill from Team Kure. Oh, Genji stunned once, twice, 3 times, and he gets away. Yeah, he gets out, but that got a bit dicey for a second. If he didn't have his shield up there, he would have fallen for sure. That saved the day. 72 stacks now for Vala. Has not died yet, so again, it's not crazy, but it's decent stacking by Bishops. And more importantly, they really want to make sure that they also have an opportunity to get Vala without a single death to level 16. Now, apparently there's a little bit more trouble that they currently have here. I can only assume that it's probably audio problems. That's usually what it comes down to, unless someone's cat peed on their keyboard or something along those lines. Hey, all of this crap has happened. I actually lost a tournament game in Warcraft 3 back in the days because I already won the game. It was just a cleanup job. I had to destroy some buildings. Stretched my feet out, made myself long just to relax a little bit, and then one of my feet touched the power plug and turned my entire PC off. So yeah, all of that stuff can happen. Learned my lesson very quickly though, so every single time I now have one of those extension cords or one of those splitters for the power cord, I always make sure that if it has one of those switches, I really tape it down so that doesn't happen anymore. But yep, stuff like that is just a thing. I don't think that necessarily happened here, but you never know. One of the best ones was still back in the day. Apparently Diva dropped. So one of the best ones was still Bad Benny. In case that you have never heard of that, there's a reason why we're sometimes making fun of Benny a little bit. There's a tournament that he participated in where he told us that he will have to pause the game, and he knew it in advance at very specific times. He's like, at 8:23 I need to pause the game for like 2 minutes maybe. And I was like, all right, that's a little bit strange, but yeah, fair enough. We don't even know if you play it at 8:23. And he did, and he had to pause the game. Was back a few seconds later. And I was thinking the entire time, you know what? This has to be something where maybe he gets a delivery. Maybe there's like an insanely precise pizza delivery or whatnot. But I was just like, that's oddly specific. Turns out that Benny was working as a train conductor or something. Not quite a train conductor, but he was one of those train stations. He was playing with a laptop from that train station at certain times. He needed to like change the... I actually don't really know. He had to let the train through. Somehow he had to let the train through and change something. So after we learned that, I was like, all right, you take your time. I don't want to have a newspaper article the next day where it says like, crazy Heroes of the Storm player, let's train derail to push for core. We didn't really need that headline. But yeah, so from that point on, Benny was always a train conductor. A little bit of an image change after he had the reputation of going to horse camp during the HGC days. So apparently in one of the breaks, Benny went to horse camp, and there were some very glorious pictures of him on horseback floating around here. So yeah. But he was always a little bit special, in a good way. Always quite entertaining. But either way, we're back to business, and it starts with Vala getting a D-shield after she nearly got insta-popped here. Well done, good save from Uther, the two supports paying attention. Sanctification is now also out with 33 stacks. Team Kure is already heavily ahead here, and me likey. It's not a kill-heavy game, but there are sparks flying everywhere, and now Max Passion. He's maxed out of passion, but he's really low on hit points. He dies, and now they procced the Punisher jump in front of the gate. Boys, not like this. Yeah, they're gonna suffer here. They are gonna really suffer on this one. That's gonna hurt. It's a 4 versus 4. Leo is up at the top. Still a leading experience for Team Skogh. And they're now getting themselves level 13, but they're losing Uther. Uther is down. They get the counter kill. Vala gets the kill and she gets the stacks. So she's sitting at 89 stacks now. Went into the Tempered by Discipline on level 13. And I keep saying it. As long as he doesn't die, Manticore is going to be a game changer for them. Even one death is not something where like, oh my god, now it's over. Those 5%, you can definitely lose out on them. If you're going into a Creed of the Hunter build these days, you are gonna get a lot. Back in the days of HGC, there was an absolute trash talent. It was hot garbage. It was a real noob trap. It was Creed of the noob trap. Like every time, like honestly, if somebody played that talent, you knew that they had no clue what they're doing. If you want to play in quick match for the dings, obviously, then that's not a problem. But if you're playing competitively, there were 1 or 2 players that at least tried it once, and yeah, after they got their ass kicked, they immediately realized, yeah, I'm never going to do that again. Yeah, total disaster talent. But Blizzard changed it. One of the few good things that they actually did when it came to balance changes, they made it into a gambit, and now it is an option. So now you can actually play that and go for proper auto attack style with Vala, particularly when you adjust the composition around that pick, which is what they did. They have a triple front line, They have Uther as a main tank, so that allows them for 2 supports and therefore a lot of heals. And as long as you keep Vala alive, she's gonna thank you later in the late game with massive single target damage. I mean, look at these stuns that we're getting. There's a couple of stuns in, and Vala gets these auto attacks in, and immediately it starts hurting. And this is without Manticore. Once she has level 16, it's going to be a completely different ball game. Now she has a second quest reward on her level 1 talent 2, so that helps as well. And as long as they keep bishops alive, it's going to be an interesting late game for them. There's 2 forts that get destroyed too by Team Skogh, so that's another one that, I mean, we've talked about it, but we gotta highlight it again. Despite the fact that they're now even in experience, and Team Kure is even pulling a bit ahead on the XP front, they are behind in structures. Passive experience increase is going to be beneficial for the blue team. You can see it here already, so in passive experience down here, we already have quite the gap between the 2 teams, and that helps. Very, very nice dodge here. Well played. I mean, the root still connects, but Gia, perfect timing, no panic, playing it out cool, calm, and collected. And now they're attempting to turn it against them. But the double support still makes this tricky. And there's Manticore. Now we got Manticore, and this is where the party really starts for bishops. Now, obviously, once he hits level 20, this is going to get even more extreme with the Storm talent. But even this is already going to boost his numbers. Let's take a quick look at it early. 44,000, let's call it 45,000 at this point in time. Still behind Chromie, who's sitting at 50k, but we're going to keep our eye on Vala and how her damage output is now going to change now that she has access to Manticore and can really get that damage in. If they are focusing on heroes over objective, they should be able to do some serious damage there. And yeah, this could get nasty. So Vala is already starting to get real numbers in, especially, of course, against that front line. And she's nearly caught up to Chromie. Within a couple of seconds in this fight, she's nearly catching up to Chromie. Here comes Kure, though. Drops the Entomb, but against Anduin, always a bit of a weird one. And now Vala drops Leo like there's no tomorrow. There's the Divine Shield as they had to save her. But look at those damage numbers. She's already surpassing Chromie easily. Big boosts after 16. Manticore with the added attack speed is just a godsend on the damage side for Team Skogh, and Vala is murdering them. They take the 2 kills, they push them off the objective. Hogger is already rotating away, and the rest of the team is now working on the next Punisher, the 3rd one in the game, the first Frozen Punisher. Vala is sitting at 60,000. She's now ahead of Chromie, and that trend is very likely going to continue. 180 stacks now for her as well, so a lot more aggressive in these team fights, and it really shows. 3 quest rewards on level 1 now. And with Anduin having access to the double pull with a Glyph of Faith, this is going to help them too. The red team isn't even trying to protect the top 4. There's no way of handling that situation just now. So they're catching up in experience a bit. Hogger has now taken another camp at the bottom of the map and is making his way over to the minion waves. The fort is gone, and they're starting for the wall, trying to take this one out as well. Kure's already moving in. Anduin instantly making sure that he's outside of the Entomb range. With a double support, it's so tough for Team Kure to get a kill in now. And Vala is, of course, just crushing it. With one hit after another, keeping her hatred stacks up as best she can. They open the wall, all forts are gone. Mid lane, bot lane, both pushed by Winions. Another stun! Yeah, not enough to get a kill, but Vala gets a few more stacks together and is padding her stacks. And once that Mopsio, again, every single time he moves out, he has to be careful. Chromie is taking over a bit on the damage numbers again, so she hasn't given up to claim the pole position here. But if Vala is able to get more done as the game continues and work more on these auto attacks, then yeah. I mean, look at this. Already chasing Malfurion down. Chromie has to intervene, has to help out. Bishops, again, just forward. Knows only one direction now. He has 2 supports behind him, and he's just like, let's go, boys. Only going forward and trying to take that there. Still, the 2 of them fighting. A little bit of a pew-pew happening now too, with D.Va first and foremost creating space. But that gap in experience just widens. The red team tries to force a 5 versus 4 up at the top. Hogger's now rotating in. He's been moving between mid and bot lane to give them the experience lead. And they're nearly on 20. They have to save Vala a little bit more, and then they're going to have Storm talents to boot. Kure gets attacked. D.Va diving deep. And they get Leo. Leo is down. Vala pushing way ahead on the numbers. numbers now. Mopsio completely lost. He gets dropped too. They have level 20. And now just the question of what Bishops is going to go for. Is it going to be the Far Flight Quiver or... yeah, he goes for it. Far Flight Quiver. Even more safety for him, more of a chance to take him on, and that's exactly what he's gonna do. Didn't go for the Acrobat here, but they are doing some serious work now, and that pressure is just not relenting in any way, shape, or form. 7 kills to 4. They want the 2-0 victories and move on to the next round, therefore. I mean, again, like, it's a round robin, so they want to go with a victory into the next round. They're murdering Kure again. And again, I gotta give it to them. I had Kure's team pegged as the favorite. I really did. If you would have told me, hey, who do you bet on? Who do you think is going to claim it here? I would have said the red team has the advantage. But boy, Team Skogh, they really pulled together here. They had a fantastic showing. Game number 1 was it was great. It was fantastic. It was awesome. The way that they coordinated their attacks. And now they've just taken a keep out. They haven't won the game yet, but they sure look incredible. 3 forts destroyed, a keep destroyed. Team Kure still has to look for level 20. And yeah, it's just tricky. It's just really tricky for them to bring it back now. The gap in damage between Chromie and Vala, it's not that insane. But the two of them are pulling far ahead of everyone else. And Vala obviously is getting more stacks together for level 1 also, which is going to increase the single target damage. And it shows a bit in the deaths on particularly Leoric. Leo, whenever he gets a bit too close to the action, that focus from Vala is a real problem for him. And Kure is getting crushed there. So now there's level 20. Now they have at least the Entomb. Entomb is upgraded into the Buried Alive, and that should help them a lot. They got the Holy Arena. There's a lot of good tools now with level 20, and it just came in the right moment now that the objective is up. But look at the control here. Hogger shutting the path down. 2 down, 3 down. Beautiful kills by the blue team, and it might just be the end of the game. They go for the full 5-man team wipe as they take out Chromie. What a fantastic attack there. As you can see, they were able to make the big moves. They cut off their path of retreat. There was no escape. They get 3 kills and then they follow up with a few more. Nicely done. Job well done. A well-deserved 2-0 victory for Team Skogh here at the round robin phase of the RavenCourt tournament. 13 kills to 4 at the end of the game. And that was pretty sexy. Really nicely done. Well played. A well-deserved victory, and we're going to move on to the next series.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.